Blood to South Africa. They've won the toss. We know the due factor that is going to be so crucial in the outcome of these games. One orders the moment, and this was another surprise. Surprise, Makai is not in the lineup. I'll talk more about that in a sec. But this surprise, Patan is opening the batting. He has done the job successfully at number 3 as a pinch hitter before in the recent past against Sri Lanka, and now he's out there opening the batting. Of course, did it against South Africa as well with Gambhir. Makai did the warm-ups, but then suddenly felt violently ill and went to the change room and was declared unfit by the doctor. Mark Boucher is another man who is not 100%. He's been down for a couple of days, hardly getting any sleep overnight. The other one is Ashwell Prince. So the South Africans certainly do have their problems right now, but Graham Smith will be delighted upon winning that toss, and he's going to be opening the batting. A.B. de Villiers has been left out, which was expected. Andrew Hall in the lineup. Callis at number 3. He is crucial today. Ashwell Prince, Justin Kemp, Mark Boucher, Sean Pollock. Albie Morkel gets a run due to the fact Makai is just pulled out at the last minute. Johan Botha is in. Charles Langerfeldt fit again from a hamstring strain under Nell, and Robin Peterson is replacing Justin Ongtong as the super sub. Arun Lals alongside. Arun, take us through Indian lineup.
Yes, indeed. The Indians, well, the surprise there was Murali Karthik as the super sub. Otherwise, there's not too much change there. Rahul Dravid did mention that he wanted an insurance against losing the toss. That's just what's happened. That's just what's transpired. Also, maybe the wicket conditions prompted it. Doesn't expect too much turn for the spinners. But otherwise, the team is there, which is more or less as expected. Another big surprise, as we see, the opening pair has changed once again, and this time it is Irfan Pathan to open. That is a big, huge surprise.
And here we go. This is the start of the 4th one-day. The 3rd washed out. 1-1 in the series. A little bit wide from Sean Pollock, and exercise from umpire Darryl Harper first up.
So India away. There's going to be a lot of noise in this stadium. That is guaranteed. Gautam Gambhir, 24 years old, 283 runs. Very fine strike rate to begin proceedings or to his career. 78, average of 31.
He's away, just the one. Gets Albie Morkel in the game early. And of course that brings the pinch hitter on strike, Irfan Pathan, who has been a revelation. What an outstanding cricketer this man is, Arun.
Amazing, and he's getting better and better. He's really working very, very hard at his batting to get that balance as an all-rounder. Just 21 years old, Irfan Pathan, and already he's got a lot of experience. 47th game for him. Strike rate of 85. He's been prolific in the 2 series, one that's just gone by with Sri Lanka and here.
Nice carry through to Mark Boucher. There's no doubt this track is going to assist the South African seamers. Makai loss is a huge blow. Sean Pollock will be outstanding in these conditions. His conning rate well under 4. 247 games now, Sean Pollock. First time he's played here in a day-nighter. He was like a young kid when I was chatting to him before the play today. Couldn't wait to get going. Realised it's going to be a huge event for the South African side and some of the youngsters and 1 or 2 senior guys. Smith at first slip. Callis at second. Chopped it on. Sean Pollock has struck early. Terrific stuff from South Africa. How often it is that Sean Pollock gets a wicket when things get underway in a big game and puts pressure back on the opposition. He's done it again.
Well, just what I was thinking that the Indians didn't want to happen. They didn't want to lose a wicket up early, but they have gambled with Irfan Pathan going there. Little unfortunate. Not too much movement of the feet, just chopping it on back onto the stumps, and the South Africans are delighted, as they should be. That's just what the doctor ordered for them. 2 for 1 India. Pathan gone for naught.
We are halfway through the first over. 2 on the board, 1 wicket down. And the little master is at the crease. Outstanding numbers from Sachin Tendulkar. World record for him today. Most games ever in one days. And that's exactly where Shaun Pollock's going to be with Sachin, I'm sure. And just have a listen to this reception as he arrived at Eden Gardens.
What a star he is. More so here because they love him here. Scored a lot of runs in one-day internationals here. Average of around 60.
Bit of extra bounce from Pollock at 133.4 k's per hour, which is a yard quicker than what you'd normally see from Shaun Pollock in these conditions. Another look at the dismissal of Pathan.
No real foot movement. He was trying to play on trust. Nowhere in position at all. It's just one of those shots that he was trying to make use of the room that was there, but just ended up chopping it on. So that's one experiment that hasn't worked.
Daryl Harper calls wide. Graham Smith's not happy. Just letting him know there's a line that he can use as a guide. A little bit of seam movement there for Shaun Pollock as well.
Yes, pronounced movement. In fact, just take a look at this delivery. It almost went off like a leg break, but it was pretty much within that line that he was indicating.
Yes, let's hope there's consistency on that, because that was a pretty tight call. And so says Smith. That is the end of the first over from Shaun Pollock. 3 for 1. One over gone. 3 for 1 is the scoreline at this stage. Dravid listed to come in at number 4, then Sehwag at 5, Singh 6, Kaif, and then Dhoni, of course, who's electric. Only Kartik, the super sub for India. Robin Peterson, the super sub for South Africa. So both teams doing a bit of gambling before the toss of the coin, and both teams quite happy with the outcome with respect to the super sub. Now, normally it would be Mackay Ntini who'd be running in now, but if you've just joined us, he was ruled out just before the toss due to a viral infection. And Andre Nell in his 42nd game economy rate is coming down. It wasn't that long ago when it was over 5. And he is an aggressive bowler. I wonder how many balls it's going to take, Arun, before we see a bit of muttering from Andre Nell. I'm going for about 4. Don't know what your call is. That's a good start. They had a bit of a battle, of course, in Bangalore.
Take a look at that for a follow-through. It was a terrific delivery, no doubt. Got it right where he wanted it, off the seam moving, and look at the seam after it landed. It started swinging while it was passing the batsman. Wonderfully bowled. Beautifully bowled indeed. But just take a look at that follow-through.
Quite a bit of swing as the ball passed the batsman. That is a very good shot indeed. Eden Gardens has come alive initially with that drive.
That is such a positive shot. What a fine shot. This is early in the innings. He's been beaten the previous delivery. A few butterflies in the stomach, but not for this man, Gautam Gambhir. A good stride forward, reaching the pitch of the delivery. Just playing through that delivery, perfectly balanced. Leaning into it. Wonderful shot.
He was unfazed in Bangalore with all the aggression from Nell, looking to take him on. It's a good leave. Intelligent cricket from Gambhir.
He's a plucky young customer, Gautam Gambhir. Very aggressive indeed in intent. Otherwise, he's pretty laid back. But just what's required when you're really up against another very aggressive unit as the South Africans are. You really need to keep your wits about you.
On target from Andre Nel. Speaking of targets, he's been doing this for some time, Andre Nel. He wears a heart rate monitor. And you'll see just before he started his spell, he just pushed the button on his clock. He's got a chest strap as well, which registers there, and they download it in a computer to make sure that what his optimum performance level is. I would suggest it should be around about 160 beats per minute. I would think with Andre Nel, sometimes it goes to about 260 the way he gets upset. It's a bit of a delayed shot from Nel, with no support behind.
Well, that didn't get up a lot. It was a short delivery. But when you're bowling from over the stumps and you're striking the pad and it's going on to hit, it's quite obviously would have landed outside leg stump. Geometrically impossible to actually land within the stumps and actually go on and hit them as well without getting a pronounced in-swing into the batsman. That's Jai Prakash. Played a lot of cricket as well, first-class cricket.
Nice line, nice length, nice carry from Nel. 7 for 1. Two overs gone. Tendulkar out of the crease, which is going to mean that Sean Pollock will just bring his line and his length in particular just back a little bit. Tendulkar looks like he's batting some distance out of his crease, which is not something you normally see for him at the start of the innings. It's more apparent in the subcontinent. We've looked at umpire Jai Prakash. We also have his partner to introduce, umpire Daryl Harper. But I must tell you, literally about 10 minutes before the start of play, was running around helping me find out who the sick players were in the South African side today, which was very kind of him. Very precise with where you can go at Eden Gardens, as most cricket grounds should be, so I wasn't allowed to go near the players' change room, and Darryl was zipping around and confirmed that Boucher and Prince are the two other men who are not 100%. India will be hoping that Sachin is. And dare I say it, the South African supporters, he's due. That's where he's batting. Some distance out of the crease. To negate any seam, one would imagine. Inside edge onto the pad. And you might guess he's away.
On his comeback, he produced two delightful innings, and then he was... That's how far out he's standing, 18 centimeters from the crease. He had two terrific innings, and then he struggled for runs. 2, 11, 19, 39, 2, 2. So he's really due for runs now.
Due might be a bit of a key word today. I can confirm that last night, thanks to Arun Lal, myself, Robin Jackman, and Johnny Funnikirk, and Colin Bryden, a South African journalist, went to the Calcutta Cricket Club for a quiet beverage and a bit of a meal, which is the second oldest club in the world, actually, 213 years old now. They do have a ground there, Arun. It was at 10 past 8. We walked out on that ground, and it was quite damp, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed it was. In fact, my palm was getting wet when I was just...
A boundary. A little bit too short from Sean Pollock. Anything in that region is going to be pounced on by Gambia. It's exactly what happened then.
Good thing about that is he really goes at it whole hog. That's the area which he favors. Doesn't try and keep it down. He just had a mighty slash at that one. Made decent enough contact for the ball to speed away to the fence. 4 good runs. He's going to play an aggressive role, Gambhir. Way over that fielder. Good shot indeed.
5 off the over. 1 ball remaining from Pollock. And it's past the outside edge. The bat was on a bit of a slant as well. 3 overs gone, 12 for 1. He'll be bitterly disappointed today, Mackay-Ntini. Dr. Mohamed Musaji ruling him unfit to participate in this 4th one day. There's the doc alongside him. He's done an outstanding job as Dr. Mohamed Musaji. There he is, just talking Mackay-Ntini through what he needs to do. Often a tourist with the South African side. He's been treating Mike Boucher overnight, and also Ashwell Prince. He's done an outstanding job. Helped me as well throughout this trip. Thanks to him.
Well, he did attempt to try and get fit enough for this game, Ntini, but couldn't quite manage it.
Yeah, that was quite remarkable footage. That was literally about 20 minutes before the toss. That's when he went down, Mackay-Ntini. Just after that, he suddenly has to rush off to the change room.
Already I'm getting the impression that there's a bit of a dual bounce on this wicket. That's a short delivery, didn't quite get up. So, bit to think about for the batsman. The first 10 overs, they need to occupy the crease. Some deliveries are taking off and some not so quickly. I would have imagined that the Indians would want to do this traditionally, keep wickets up front and then go for the South Africans later on. But they surprised everybody by opening with Irfan Pathan with all intents and purposes to be, very aggressive up front.
Let's look at the track, and what was pleasantly surprising for the South Africans after what we saw in Bangalore was this slight green tinge. Spinner's paradise in Bangalore. Here we go. Didn't take long. I'm not convinced that's going to upset Sachin Tendulkar at all.
357 games, more than anybody else. But he's quite a character, Nell. At least he's got a smile at the end of it.
It's what Nell's trying to do there, is get under the skin of the batsman. It's not going to happen to Sachin. And then hoping, of course, that the next ball, the batsman does something a little bit rash. No chance. So, Arun, we've mentioned this due factor, and obviously that's going to play a role as this game goes on. It's a little bit confusing, though, in the last 10 day-night games. 7 won by the team batting first, 3 by the team batting second.
Yes, it is indeed. It's rather confusing indeed. But, it's also dependent on what time of the year those day-night games are played. Generally, it's a lot more dewy in December and January.
You would think he's smashed it through extra cover for 4. He hasn't. He's got 1 down the 3rd man and 1 off the over. 13 for 1. So will it say P2, P3? Just P.
P1, P2, P3. Oh, just P. Okay.
Closer building is the High Court. And Sean Pollock's bowling from the High Court end. You'll notice on our information, there's another wide that has been called. This is very unusual for Sean Pollock. A couple in the first over, and now he's bowled his 3rd. So this will be a little bit of concern. Extras are going to be crucial in a game like this.
wanting to keep it outside the off stump, wanting to get Sachin to go after him. Just erring in line a bit. Very disappointed indeed. They're known for their discipline, the South Africans. They do their basics right.
Just wish to point out at our graphics at the bottom. You can see that now it's 4 overs and 1 ball, and there's a P next to it. That's a P for power play. Of course, 3 power plays need to be used here by South Africa and India when they're bowling. It's just to inform you that the power play is in operation. Power play 1 it is. Mandatory 10 overs. Then there can be some juggling done by the skippers should they wish.
Well, that one he held across the seam. Wants the ball to come into the batsman. Just also making sure that, you know, just does something different. Sending a signal to Sachin. Sometimes bowlers believe that when it hits the seam, it could sort of retard a bit or get a little more bounce.
There's a nick. Sean Pollock has gone up. Daryl Harper's gone up as well. That is an enormous wicket. Sean Pollock has struck twice now. Inside 5 overs. Brilliant stuff from Pollock, and it's Sachin Tendulkar, the great Sachin Tendulkar, who departs.
This is truly a brilliant delivery. There was no indication in the air which way it was going. Straight in the air, off the seam, just that hint of movement, and Sachin following it, just that wee bit to get that edge. Just a fine edge, and they all go up. So this is a big, big wicket for South Africa. They won the toss, fielded. They've got India 2 down for 14. Sachin gone for 2.
Virinder Sehwag is the next man in. We thought it might be Drive, but it's not. It's Sehwag. Allows that one to go through. Halfway through, just past halfway through his 3rd over now, Sean Pollock. 2 for 9 he's got. This is the big one.
Really perfectly delivered. But Sachin just hung his bat out. It was outside the off stump. He didn't read the delivery. He didn't quite anticipate that the ball would be moving off the seam away from him. Otherwise, there was really no need to offer a defensive shot to a ball pitched outside the off stump, unless you're expecting it to come into you.
It's just the same old stuff from Pollock. That's what it is. That one a little bit tighter. He's a big score on the offside. We know that's Sehwag. That line will be a little bit tighter to Sehwag. He gets off with a couple. We're 1 ball away now from completing 5 overs. Just to let you know, in Bangalore, South Africa, in fact, after 5 overs for 14 runs on the board and 2 wickets down. India at this stage 16 for 2. In Hyderabad, India were 3 wickets down for 6 runs. So there's been damage galore in this series in the first 5 overs. And a lot of rain in Chennai. Stand and deliver. His feet did not move an inch, but the ball raced away for 4. 20 for 2. Rahul Driver, the skipper, is listed to come in next. Maybe another surprise, who knows. Now, the umpires are not going to be allowed to rely on audible necks today with this sort of crowd. Andre Nell has been in trouble already in this series with running on the pitch. Umpire Jay Prakash not happy already. He would have been hoping there'd been something big from the master today, Sachin Tendulkar, but Snicko will confirm that there was connection with the willow.
Just the perfect delivery by Sean Pollock. But really, Sachin, when he sees that replay, would wonder why he was offering a defensive shot to a ball outside the off stump. The best defensive shot to a ball outside the off stump is to let it go, unless you're expecting it to come back into you. So really came out trumps there, Sean Pollock. And in walks Sehwag into a situation 2 down, and you'd expect him to be a little circumspect. But take a look at this shot. Like Mike said, no movement whatsoever, feet just rooted to his position, but an amazing shot.
Well, it's not totally true. He got on his toes. Tucked away back at a square. He wants to come back for 2, Gambia. There's going to be quite a few hand signals, I think, from the batsman today. Virtually no point yelling the communication. South will be happy that Charles Langerfeld is back in the lineup. Fit again after, well, he would have missed 2 games, actually. Well, Chennai was the game that he would have missed. That was rained out and injured himself in the first game in Hyderabad, hamstring. Big swing and a miss, but movement off the deck from Nell.
Yes, indeed. Just took a huge sigh of relief there. Gautam Gambhir went for that extravagant drive outside the off stump. But there is movement off this track, and whenever the seam is hitting the deck, you're getting quite pronounced movement off it. That's because of the grass. It's also a bit of a fresh wicket, if you can call it that. This is a 2:30 start. However, whatever is to happen in the first 10 overs. You're 2 down, you've got to be a little careful.
Good stuff from Andre Nell, beating the bat and just 2 runs off the over. All the 2s. .22 for 2 at the moment. 6 overs gone. Sean Pollock is the man that has done the damage for South Africa so far. Graham Smith has done the right thing as well as far as the visitors are concerned and won the toss. It is an amazing stadium, Eden Gardens. In the vicinity of 100,000 people expected today. Crowds, the queues were going back kilometres as we arrived earlier. That'll be a leg bite.
Now this is a pretty riveting battle between these two, Sehwag and Pollock. Pollock has had a terrific series as well. Very disciplined. Doesn't strive too much for pace. Extremely experienced. He keeps the ball around the off stump. And he's done early damage. And he's also been difficult to get away as well. So he's been very frugal as far as giving runs away is concerned.
And I think importantly, Arun, we're not going to see any change of tactics from Virender Sehwag. He's going to play his normal game. Shaun Pollock has been outstanding, as you'd expect. Just half a dozen overs in Bangalore. Certainly kept it extremely tight there. That's when the game was running away. That's why it didn't come back in proceedings. Graeme Smith wanted to utilise the spinners, give them some experience. I think it's worth reflecting on the last game that was played here, Arun. Game that Pakistan won, chasing down a score of 292 for 6 that India made. So that's maybe further confusion for all of us.
Yes, that's the big game. India felt pretty secure at 292, but they sort of knocked them off with ease, 293 for 4. Salman Butt getting that 100 with an over to spare.
Graeme Smith has taken that catch. Pollock has struck again. He's now got 3. It seemed to go quite slowly to Graeme Smith the first slip. He had plenty of time to view it. Rahul Dravid's now out of his seat and almost ready to go. But South Africa are all over India like a rash at the moment.
That man, Graeme Pollock, just take a look at this. Angled away, just a hint of movement. Gambhir not quite offering the full face of the bat and just about carrying to Graeme Smith. He was certain that he had pouched it. He wasn't. But eventually, it shows that it landed right in those palms. So 3 down now, India for 23. Gambhir gone for 11.
Nice to see Rahul Dravid get a very good ovation as he walked out to the ground here at Eden Gardens in Kolkata. Vastly experienced cricketer and a seriously good one, averaging 40 in 274 games, strike rate of just a shade over 70. He's going to need some sort of consolidation, some sort of partnership. Shaun Pollock is the destroyer. 3 for 15 his return at this stage from the high court end, and 1 ball left in the 7th over. 23 for 3 India at the moment and in trouble. Short ball first up, just to let him know he's around the place. I think Dravid knows that. 23 for 3.
Number 4, boys. Number 4, Nella.
Seven overs gone, 23 for 3 it is. Yuvraj Singh and Kaif, the 2 recognised batsmen to come in next, and it's Dhoni, of course. He is a firebrand cricketer, that's for sure. But Shaun Pollock's name appears 3 times in the commentary box now for the next half hour. It's going to be Ravi Shastri and Robin Drachman.
Thanks very much, Mike. Well, this is going to be fascinating. One end you got the wall, as he's known, the wall of India. Rahul Dravid, the captain, and the other end, I don't think any situation of any game makes any difference to the way he plays. Virender Sehwag,
the butcher. Yes, he's got to be a little careful though on this surface, especially seeing the situation of the game at the moment. South Africa right on top.
Hasn't got all of that, but he's threaded it through for a couple.
Yes, you can already see the difference between the two bowlers, Andre Nell and Sean Pollock. Sean Pollock, consistent with his line and length. I say length because he's looked to draw the batsman forward. Every now and then he does bowl the short delivery to keep them honest. But he's been so consistent. Sehwag won't mind that. In fact, on a surface like this, you won't mind the bowlers dropping it short. There is help there if you get the ball up. There's movement off the seam. And what's there? That's again drawing the batsman forward. Just that length where you can't go forward or back. Got Tendulkar in similar fashion as well. So it was a half-hearted appeal.
Got hold of that one, though. No need to run, really.
Well, he was onto it in a flash. Again, drop shot by Nell. And it's set up nicely here. He's got it right at the bottom of the bat, but he's a powerful man, Sehwag. He packs a punch when he hits it.
These new bats these days seem to have sweet spots from the bottom to the top, no matter where you hit them. Just an inside edge, so nearly got through.
Now that's more the length Andre Nell would be looking to bowl on this surface. This is where Pollock has been different. He's been consistent with his line and length. There is something there for the bowlers if you get it up and let the pitch do the rest. There is a slight movement off the seam that came back into Sehwag. And plus, if you see the way Sehwag plays, he likes to sit back and wait.
End of the over, 29 for 3. Say, Gambia's dismissal was quite an interesting one, in as much as I was wondering why he was hanging around. Normally when you're caught at first slip, you know, you're not going to get away with it. Umpires aren't going to make that big an error. And yet it was only when I saw Pollock's reaction that he wasn't sure it's carried. That shows that it carried quite easily. Nicely caught by Smith, fingers underneath it. He just holds it up. But Pollock wasn't sure. Therefore, why should Gambia have been? Big appeal, that'll be tight, that'll be tight. Is it sliding down? Yes, says Darrell Harper.
Well, he's asking questions all the time, Sean Pollock. Very close to the stump, so he gets a lot of leg before it's going his way. That was a good decision, may have just slipped down leg side. But he's thereabouts all the time. Bowls very close to the stumps, so the chances are there that he'll get more leg before decisions in his favor. And it's a testing time for the Indians. It's not easy out there. These are good conditions to bowl in. That's why Smith had absolutely no hesitation in fielding first on winning the toss. If you look at this surface, there is quite a bit of grass on it. You heard Arun Lal at the pitch report saying he's never seen a track like this in Cal. Don't forget, there's no Saurav Ganguly playing today. And just having a chat with the groundsman, I just reckon if the Bengal team play more on these surfaces, they'll become a much, much better side, producing a lot more cricketers for India. I think this is a good first-class trip. What it also tells me that this groundsman is talented. When he wants to produce a good track with bounce and some grass on it, he can do it.
Are you surprised, though, Ravi, that there's that much grass for this stage of this particular tournament, 1-1?
Absolutely, yeah. Because this is a one-day game. This is not a test match, Robin, and you don't want the toss to be that important, where you could be on the back foot straight away. We'll come back to that. 29 for 3.
$29 for 3 then, and the first change in the bowling lineup. Andre Nell takes a breather, and Andrew Hall into the attack. Came into the side, well, he's been in the side for some time, in and out of it. A very man of the match performance against New Zealand just prior to coming here. It's a good shot on the up, and doesn't think about running.
Well, you almost got a feeling, Robin, that Sehwag was itching to go once he saw Hall running up. Now, mid-off is on the edge of the circle, but he's smashed this down the ground. Nice full face of the blade. He's standing a little bit outside the crease as well to negate the movement.
Keep a little bit low, or was it just a bit fuller? Sehwag has this habit, as you were saying, Ravi, of staying back, if you like. You know, he's not a big, doesn't get a big stride at the left foot in. And there's a good example of him staying back. We've seen it a couple of times in this game already. Here's another example of it. Beautiful stroke. Hall in trouble in his first over. Intimidating batsman to bowl to. And already Hall will feel that.
Well, this is a good counter-attack. One thing good with Sehwag is he always backs himself. Now, this is not an easy shot to play. The balance is good here. A lot of work with the wrists. He generates tremendous bat speed through the hitting area. But look at that bottom hand coming and opening the face of the blade.
Just get one this time, and Hall will be quite happy. Very difficult batsman to bowl to Sehwag because of his lack of foot movement. We saw him earlier on when Pollock bowled to him. Here it is, off Pollock. Look at the feet. No movement at all, other than, as Mike Hazeman described, just came up on his toes a little bit. Now, he can get into trouble doing that if the ball moves, and he was nearly in trouble there from Nell. Dravid thinks he's off the mark, but isn't. Good fielding. Justin Kemp at mid-wicket.
Yes, good cricket all round. It was nicely played. But the South African side, a very good fielding outfit. In fact, the standard of fielding right through this one-day series from both sides has been quite outstanding.
End of the over, expensive one for South Africa. 10 from it. 39 for 3. Yeah, really interesting scenarios happened here. 39 for 3 India. And Graham Smith has not taken the power play. Ravi, why not?
I think the only reason could be either he's forgotten it, or because of Virendra Sehwag out there, he feels that he can't just afford to wait for a couple of overs. Moment Sehwag gets out, take power play.
He was having it's good running, leg by. He's having quite a long conversation with the umpire after the end of the 10th over. So I think you're spot on with your second recommendation. I don't think he's forgotten. I think he'd just like to see if he can't nip out Sehwag, and then the power play would be a little bit more potent.
What's surprising though is he's still got 2 men in catching position for Sehwag. Now he's moved out from first slip. So if there are 2 men, I think he's having a chat with the umpire. Might just have forgotten it. Robin?
Well, he's got me going, let me tell you. What's he asked? Can you take the power play in the middle of an over? I don't think you can you? He's got to wait for the end of this over. So there is a change in the field, though. Fine legs come up into... No, he hasn't. Well, he's got 3 out of the circle, which, of course, he's allowed because he hasn't taken the power play. No, he can't. He's not allowed to do that. He's got to have... He's got this wrong. It's going to... We're all pretty confused in the commentary box here. We're having a vote, and it's come out that because he hasn't taken the power play, he can have an extra one back.
Yes, why it's confusing also, Robin, is that he's got 3 men outside, but he's still got 2 men in catching position in the slips. This is something you don't see too often in a one-day game, especially when power play does exist. You normally will see those catching positions disappear and men in the outfield. So he obviously believes there's a chance of Pollock getting the outside edge. Brilliant shot. Yes, using the pace of the bowler. Once again, fantastic hand-eye coordination.
South Africa really want to see the back of Sehwag. He is so dangerous. I must confess, I think third man is much too fine for him here. Third man is just to the right of, well, probably through an empty gully area in line with the batsman. For Sehwag, I think you've got to be square. He gets caught down there every now and again. I've seen him cut the ball for 6 often. I've also seen him get caught in that position. Just one this time. 5 boundaries for India Sehwag's hit already.
Yes, what it's done, it's taken a little bit of pressure off Dravid. Dravid still to get off the mark, but he doesn't have to be in an extreme hurry. Now that Sehwag's taken off, South Africa still on top at this stage by picking up 3 early wickets.
Wants to single, but it's not there. Prince in very quickly from backward point. 45 for 3, 11 gone. Now the power play comes in, which indicates that Ravi was more correct with his first shot. The African captain forgot.
Yes, 2 men in catching position.
In the air, and 2, 3, 4 bounces for 4. So Hall under pressure early on. 2 boundaries in his first over, and now 1 off the first ball of his second.
This is exactly what Sehwag did even in the first over. Went after him with his very first delivery of the over. He's got this away to the boundary. It was a loose delivery though from Hall, drifting onto the pads. But he's under pressure.
Out, caught Boucher, bowled Hall. Hall gets his revenge. He's taken some punishment, but that, for South Africa, is a huge wicket.
This ground stunned into silence. That is a big, big wicket. And the difference here is that Hall has got this up and a little wider, which means Sehwag had to reach out for it. He normally doesn't get across with that front foot. If it's up and straight, he'll bang you down the ground. This time, wide enough to get the outside edge. And India in deep trouble, 49 for 4.
Yuvraj Singh then coming in a position that he's already been used to in this series. 5 for 3 it was when he came in the first game in Hyderabad. Got 100. Finished up on the losing side. Now he's come in at 49 for 4. With a similar job to do. It'll be a wide. Hall knows it. And brings up the 50 for India.
Well, the last man to be dismissed. This is a big blow, but good bowling by Hall. What he's done here is got it up, and he's got it a little wider. Sehwag had to reach out for that without really getting across with that front foot. And a big outside edge.
Tell you what, Ravi, I've been privileged to come to this ground on a couple of occasions over the years. I've never been disappointed. In the first half hour, I stood upstairs amongst the crowd. The atmosphere and the noise is deafening. It's not quite full yet, but wow. It is a wonderful feeling being here. It must be a great feeling playing here.
Yes, they love their cricket in this part of the world, whether it's one-day cricket, test cricket. People of Bengal will be out in thousands to watch the game. They'll be a little disappointed this moment, India losing 4 wickets. One thing is that India bat deep. So what they'll want is for India to put up a score in excess of 200, which can be competitive.
One thing that quite surprises me is a bank of seats at the far end of the ground, which is all but empty. Would that have something to do with price, or it's the only place that hasn't got a good body of people in it? But they're all right. Good shot. Beaten Kemp this time, and will run away for 4. I was a little surprised that Andre Nell didn't get moving to his right at least a few strides. A beautiful shot. 55 now for 4. So 3 wickets to Pollock. India having been put into bat by Graham Smith when he won the toss earlier, and reduced to 55 for 4. Pollock just about to start his 7th over. Yuvraj Singh off the mark, as was Dravid. And he worked a ball from Hall through mid-wicket with sweet timing.
It's good balance when he played it. Head on top of the ball as he worked it on the onside. He's a key player now for India. He's got the technique to counter these conditions. And really, he would know what could be a competitive score on the surface. Doesn't have to aim for 270, 280 at this stage. Anything in excess of 230, 240 can allow you to compete. He would also know that Pollock is into his 7th over, so might just bowl one more over, and then you could see Graham Smith holding him back for maybe later on in the innings.
Right on target, and Rahul Dravid respectful. Also probably in his mind that, let's just see the back of Pollock, this might be his last. On the other hand, you can't really hit that very far, can you? Just on the line of off stump, just outside, coming back at Dravid slightly, perfect length. once again. One from the over so far. Concentration now for this last ball. The end of the over, just one from it. 56 for 4, 13 gone. .56 for 4 then. Dravid not out 4. Yuvraj Singh not out 2. South Africa in the driving seat at the moment. And Nell replaces Hall. Not a good move this, I think, anyway. I wonder what Lakshman Krishnan and Mike Hazeman think.
Thanks, Robin. I'm with you. I'll tell you the reason I'm with you. There's an official warning for Andre Nell, which is not going to assist his concentration or confidence right now. South Africans are quite keen to match Andre Nell with someone in the opposition lineup. It's been successful over the years with Brian Lara, although Lara scored a lot of runs, but Nell has got him quite a few times. And after that dismissal of Dravid in Hyderabad, I'm not surprised that they want to be Nell versus Dravid wherever possible. Yuvraj, of course, on strike at the moment. Albi Morkel getting a bit of exercise in the outer. And 2 more.
He's been in good form of late, Yuvraj Singh. Century will certainly help his confidence. The left-right combination out in the middle, they have to build together a good partnership, Dravid and Yuvraj.
Not happy with the area behind the ball at the moment. Yuvraj Singh still operating with 2 slips around the wicket now, which is something he doesn't mind doing now.
So he's much better off, Mike Hazeman, as you say, because every time he's tried over the stumps, he's got onto the danger area. It happened in Hyderabad. Doesn't have so much of a problem with the left-handers bowling around the stumps.
Slip under gully now. Bottom edge, and there's that little bit of variable bounce that we've been talking about so far. I think there are times when you're facing Andre Nell, and again I'll refer to Dravid's dismissal in Hyderabad. Here we can talk about Yuvraj Singh just perhaps not getting the length right. He's got an unorthodox action. It's a gangly action, Andre Nell. Big tall man, somewhere around about 6'4", releases from a good height, and that's one of his strengths. He can upset the batsman as they misjudged length of deliveries. Crash that away for 4. That is a beauty.
This time he was not going to make the mistake. He did the last ball around. Watch the ball till the very end onto the bat. In very good position. Eyes on the ball all the time. And finds the gap. This is a very fast outfield. Enjoyed it, Yuvraj Singh.
He's not happy. That's because he went for 6 that over. 62 for 4. Sean Pollock's about to start his 8th over. The noise is deafening here in Kolkata. Commentators before, Robin Jackman and Ravi Shastri, speculating that Pollock might just have the one more. And I'm sure this is where he'll stop. Obviously, what Smith is looking for, and there was a long conversation between Smith and Pollock at the start of this over. Smith's looking for one more wicket, that of Dravid in particular. But he's going to have to hold Pollock back for a couple in the middle. There's a little bit of an experience around the South African lineup. Mackay and Tini not playing today. Albi Morkel comes to mind. Callis certainly not hitting his straps with the ball in this series. So he needs a little bit of assurance in the middle order, I think, in the middle of the proceedings. And Pollock's the man to provide it for 2.
We've used him well, 8 overs on the trot. But the Indians will look at just playing out Sean Pollock in this over and try and get a partnership going, try and get some runs of the lesser bowlers. Conditions were helpful, 2:30 start. Plenty of grass on this pitch. The bowlers have made it count, especially Sean Pollock. Hasn't had too much support from the other end.
Let's just have a look at the options that Smith does have. We're presuming this is going to be Pollock's last. Hall, of course, has got a wicket, which is important. That of the ever-dangerous Sehwag, but went for 19 off 2. Albi Morkel's an all-rounder. He's more of a batting all-rounder than a bowling all-rounder. Sometimes his line and length isn't at this standard. Johan Botha, the off-spinner, who has showed some promise so far, will need to be juggled in there somewhere. Callis, of course, is expected to maybe get a few under the belt. A little bit of movement still. Justin Kemp's another who might get a run. He's been rewarded in the last couple of days with a contract, actually, a national contract from South Africa, which is nice to see for Kemp. By the way, the selectors are meeting today, discussing the squad to go to Australia, which is going to be announced tomorrow for the Test series.
Fancy any changes? Different conditions?
Langerfeld, of course, will be delighted, Smith, that Langerfeld's back in the lineup and will be able to do some death bowling. There's been a few performers back home, actually, which have made the selectors take notice. Nicky Bier getting 8 for 102, I think it was, in the last 4-day game for the Free State Eagles. So he would have come to the fore in the selection of the Test series. Might have just leapt ahead of Johan Botha. Jacques Rudolph, some runs also. And a fast bowler called Garnet Kruger will come in the reckoning. Good stuff for maiden from Pollock, 62 for 4. Normally at this stage you'd be seeing the umpires wearing an arm saying that maybe the third power play is about to start, but Smith forgot to introduce the second power play, so there was an over of power play free cricket. So the second power play will finish at the end of this over.
But things have gone well for South Africa, winning the toss and deciding to bowl first. Humid afternoon. A lot of work for the Indians.
Yes, they're up against it now, aren't they? Of course, losing those wickets inside the first 5 overs, a couple inside the first 5, really put them on the back foot, particularly when the calibre of the players departed. Tendulkar, Sehwag, Patan, that didn't work right at the start, so down to the skipper, I think, to try and get things back on track. He'll be thinking about batting the majority of 50 overs. Will Rahul Dravid.
Well, that has been the pattern of play in the 3 games. We saw in Hyderabad, India losing too many wickets too quickly. And in Bangalore, South Africa batting first, lost too many wickets too quickly. The same thing here.
Yeah, South Africa then was sabotaged. I think that's the right description, sabotaged by the spinners. Not the conditions, but by some quality bowling. In Bangalore. Thought about it. Nell knew that.
That's one thing of touring India. All these youngsters, we heard from Ram Smith and the coach, Mickey Arthur, saying that the boys are learning all the time. It's the conditions. Hyderabad, Bangalore and Chennai down south of India. Now we get to the east coast, eastern part of India. Calcutta, where the pitches are different. So different players in India having different weather conditions, pitch conditions. So much to learn with every outing for the visitors. He'll be a happy man, Graham Smith.
He'll be happy right now as well, because if this is another dot ball, this will be 2 maidens in a row at a crucial time of the innings. And it is. That's good stuff from Sean Pollock in his 8th and Andre Nell also in his 6th. So 16 overs gone, 62 for 4 it is, and we'll take a drinks break. Sixteen overs gone, 62 for 4 at this stage. The players just moving away from the drinks break. It's high expected around about 30 degrees today in Calcutta. Around about 100,000 people are expected to be packed into Eden Gardens later. They will not be too happy right now, but South Africa are the guys that have struck, and they struck early. This is the first to go. Surprised that he opened the batting for time, but he went second ball to Pollock.
Then the big wicket. Great delivery in the right channel, corridor of uncertainty. Tendulkar had to play at it. Big wicket.
And Pollock again. Smith taking the catch, getting the fingers underneath it. He was uncertain initially with Sean Pollock, but then got excited.
And Sehwag was looking in good touch. Runs coming in a hurry for him. Andrew Hall, big sigh of relief. Going for far too many runs, picking up the prize wicket.
So if we look at the damage done by the bowlers, well, it's Mr. Scrooge. Outstanding again, 3 for 21 off 8 overs. I'm expecting he's going to be rested now. Save for 2 in the middle. Nell, 6 overs, 1 made, none for 19. And Hall has picked up the wicket of Verinder Sehwag, who we know can take any attack apart, but has been expensive. So it's introduction of Charles Langerfeldt, who's getting some advice from Sean Pollock. And the third power play, we understand, is about to be confirmed by umpire Daryl Harper. There's a look at what Charles done so far, 23 years of age, so just a youngster. Just relaying the message from Graham Smith, and here's the exercise, we think, from umpire Daryl Harper. Interesting enough, Graham Smith has just been, there we go, there's confirmation of the power play. Graham Smith off camera has just been talking to umpire Jay Prakash and just pointing at his watch, saying that in essence that this is time on, if you like. I'm sure the match referee knows about it. Langerfeldt's not quite ready.
The interesting thing and the good thing about Graham Smith, he's got a slip in place and also at man is short mid wicket, which is a very good position for Rahul Dravid.
He's in a bit of trouble at the moment, Smith, with this over rate. That's why he was getting a little bit agitated with the signalled umpire Jay Prakash, making sure that there was a little bit of a time delay before that power play was called after the drinks break. Over rate at 12.5 to the over at this stage. Should be pretty close to 15. Quite interesting if you have a look where Yuvraj Singh is standing as the non-striker. Maybe that's Sean Pollock, who was reasonably straight, has asked him to go a little bit wider. Sean's at mid-on, by the way.
As a non-striker, you want to stay as close to the wicket as possible, the pitch as possible, because the outfield is lush green. There's every chance that you could slip. More or less in a straight line, Sean Pollock and Yuvraj Singh.
Yes, if he was close, looking at that picture, it'd also be okay. A little bit of variation there from Charles Langerfeldt. I think the South Africans are working on a particular plan here. They were delighted with the way they dismissed him in Hyderabad. I think also surprised. And they've noticed that occasionally there's just a little bit of a gap between bat and pad, and if they bowl that impeccable length, he doesn't get, or didn't get in Hyderabad as far forward as he should, and Andre Nell just snuck one through, which was quite strange to see Dravid dismissed in that fashion. Driving on the up, has got it square on the offside. Bit of tag teamwork, and Burt has got a very good arm. Just the two.
I don't think it came as quickly as Rahul Dravid expected it to. Just marginally short of a length. Was in the air, had to check his shot at the last moment, Rahul Dravid. The important thing, it went in the gap. So more protection on the offside, 4 in the ring. The short mid-wicket has come out. So 4 saving single on the offside. It's been a good start. They've got to maintain the pressure, the South Africans. Just 2 runs in the first 5 deliveries from Langerfeldt.
That's good stuff from Charles Langerfeldt, coming back from injury, just 2 off his first over, 64 for 4.
Start, Charlie.
So 17 overs gone. India in trouble. 64 for 4. That run rate is just over 3.75 at this stage. 3.76 to be precise. Mark Boucher's just had a little bit of assistance from Shane Jabbar, the team physiotherapist, who was named in the paper the other day as Abdul Jabbar, and I understand the team have now adopted that nickname for Shane. And he's not well, Mark Boucher, along with Ashwell Prince and Mackay Tini, of course, not featuring in Game 4 of the series.
With problems with the health of a lot of South Africans and of Mike Hazeman as well. He's been struggling from Chennai.
Yes, I must admit I would have preferred those tablets rather than the injections that the doctor's been giving me up the backside, but anyway. That is a glorious stroke. That is a beauty.
Enough width to free his arms. And Yuvraj Singh, when he's in good form, is a class act to watch. Very entertaining player. And often contributed to the side when India has been under pressure. Again, square of the wicket in the offside, you're asking for trouble. Very well executed.
It's so important that Yuvraj Singh does this occasionally. Just gets the odd boundary every now and then to keep him going in the style that he's accustomed. He's going to be looking for 2 here. Justin Kemp is chasing, but won't prevent the second.
One thing with Yuvraj, as long as he's out there, the runs will come, and come quickly. He's capable of hitting boundaries, and also has the ability to push his partners for 1s and 2s.
Just interesting to watch Mark Boucher there, just sitting into Justin Kemp to make sure that throw is low and on the bounce. That sun is not far away from setting, so therefore it's providing problems. There's a look at what Yuvraj has done so far. Of course, Game 3 in Chennai. Shiva's hometown was washed out, sadly, but Hyderabad, he was outstanding. Yuvraj, man of the match, and finished the game in style in Bangalore with a drive for extra cover. That'll be called a wide. Still raining in Chennai, by the way, Shiva, or is it okay?
It was raining this morning as well, Hazy, and we're supposed to have a test match on the 2nd of December. Not getting the line right to the left-hander. And looking at Yuvraj's scores really tells a story.
I reckon you might weigh in at about 55 kilos, soaking wet.
He came into the series with his place in doubt in the team. Didn't have a good series against Sri Lanka. Got 103. Came into badminton India where 3 down for 5. Got a magnificent 100 there. And kept his place in the side. And thereafter, here again, he's under pressure to perform.
7 off the over. It's a good one for India. 71 for 4. Everything going South Africa's way at the moment. They won the toss. India be bowling with that slippery ball. Langerfeld again is striving for this area just outside the line of the off stump. Just hoping that Dravid doesn't get as well forward as he normally does, and the ball comes back a little bit off the seam.
And also a lot of protection square of the wicket in the offside. He loves to open the face of the bat and play through that area, Rahul Dravid.
Be consistent about 6 inches outside the line of off stump. Got him! Brilliant stuff from Shah Langenfeld. A straighter delivery that time. There might have been a little bit of movement away from Rahul Dravid, but again, it's an uncharacteristic shot from Dravid. It's a good delivery, but Dravid won't be happy when he sees this replay. Again, just a little bit on the lazy side.
Great delivery. Langenfeld, bullseye. Just a hint of swing away from the right-handed Rahul Dravid. Fuller and jumping for joy. An important wicket for Shah Langenfeld coming back after an injury. Will do a world of good for his confidence. South Africa done extremely well. Dravid gone for 6, 71 for 5.
Mohammed Kaif has a job of work to do. South Africa won the toss, chose to field. We're 2 balls into the 19th over, and they've picked up 5 for 71 at this stage. He's a very good player, Mohammed Kaif. He's saved India on a few times in this sort of position when they're in a lot of trouble. He's a very determined cricketer, a proud cricketer. Only got a couple of hundreds, 14 50s. He's going to have to play very well here to get India out of dire straits. Now, we need to give full congratulations here to Shah Langenfeld. He was bowling outside the line of off stump, concentrating on bowling little off cutters. This was a different delivery that picked up the wicket.
Just swung very late and away from Rahul Dravid. The swing was so very late that Rahul Dravid was forced into playing the wrong line. And what a delightful sight. I think he deserved it. Wicket-taking delivery.
Again delivering from fairly wide of the crease, so rather than going for that angle, looking for a bit of swing and got it. That's why he was leaping for joy.
Well, in trouble. This is big trouble for India. Okay, look at the seam position. Perfect for an outswinger. Nowhere near the line, Rahul Dravid.
Just have a look also how he overbalances. A foot is nowhere near the line of the ball, the pitch of the ball, and also at the end he's overbalances enormously. Cries have hit it from Andrew Hall, and it's gone for extras. Should have been backed up. There was plenty of time. Andrew Hall's not happy. Langenfeld thinks he's perhaps a little bit upset with him that he can get back to the stumps, but no. It was Johan Botha, I think, who wasn't there in time. Had plenty of time to get round and back up.
It's 4 runs. Might not matter too much. Oh, could have been very, very close run out. Can't blame the fielder for going for the direct hit.
The throw could have been well off target by some distance. That might have been the real concern, and the haste to pick up and throw. That's why Johan Botha was not in the right spot. Five off the over, but the important wicket of the captain, 76 for 5. The run rate at the moment is bang on 4. The problem for India is they've lost 5 wickets. And Yuvraj Singh and Kaif have got to do some serious work. In the commentary box for the next half hour as Jonty Rhodes appears on sponsor's balcony. It's going to be Arun Lal and Ravi Shastri.
Thank you, Mike. So Hall will continue. A loud shout. There seem to be 2 sounds. Also, his natural angle is the delivery that slants down the leg side. Let's get the ball into the right-handers.
The angle was into him. He was overbalancing. That could have been close. Just take a look at the angle. That's what the umpire's got to judge. Yes, I think that sufficient doubt there. But the fact that the batsman falls over, it gives the illusion that it's going to be a lot closer than it is.
See moment that appeal was made by Hall. Umpire Jay Prakash just moving his hands and saying there could have been an inside edge. Watch that hand. There seem to be 2 sounds. But India need a partnership. South Africa can afford to keep attacking.
Well, he's taking his front foot across. Anytime he gets struck on the pad, it's going to be a loud appeal for LBW. The angle is into the right-hander. He's got to watch it. It's very early days in his innings, Kaif, and he needs a big one here. India struggling at 77 for 5. The ball has moved about quite a bit. There's sufficient grass on the wicket. Good call at the toss that they'd field and make first use of the grass and whatever freshness there is. And how well they've exploited these conditions, Ravi.
Yes, it was in fact funny, Arun, at the toss when I said, are you batting? Because all Graham said with his first answer was, we're making first use of these conditions. He didn't say if he's batting or bowling. So when I asked him, are you batting? He was off in a flash. No, fielding. Excellent conditions to bowl in. Plenty of grass on the surface. And he's got the attack, Graham Pollock, to make use of these conditions. Pollock was superb. Can't see much help for the spinners on this surface. That's why I feel in one-day cricket sometimes when there's too much grass left on the surface, it gets too one-sided. If you lose the toss, you could be in deep, deep trouble.
And more so when you have to contend with the dew later on while fielding. It's going to be a wet ball.
.77 for 5. .77 for 5.
Well, Shah Langefeld, as far as I'm concerned, bowled just the perfect delivery. That's what got rid of Rahul Dravid. Now take a look at the angle. It's into Dravid. It's almost going to hit leg stump, and then at the last moment, it tends to swing away. Exceptional bowling.
Great position of the seam, and what a sight for a fast bowler.
That's what he's normally doing. He's bowling from wide of the crease, getting the ball to come in and slant in, and he's very nippy. He's around the 140 mark. But at that speed, if you can get the ball to do what he did to Rahul Dravid, you really should be proud of yourself. That was an exceptional delivery.
Yes, he's a man of medium height. He's not all that tall. He's a skiddy customer, very strong in the shoulders. And he does hit the bat. Arun Lal mentioned he's around the 140k mark. So that's sharp. And these are good conditions to bowl in.
Did mention at the pitch report that there's a lot more grass than I've ever seen on this wicket in Calcutta. It's well rolled, it's a well prepared wicket, don't get me wrong. They worked very hard at it. But really it's quite unusual to see so much grass, especially when the home side is relying on their spinners. They've got two main frontline spinners and generally tend to get about 25 to 30 overs from their spinners if they could. But with so much grass on a wicket like this, they suddenly had to rethink and get Karthik as their super sub.
As a groundsman, at times you want to be fair. You want to get a good surface where both teams can compete, and may the best team win on that particular day. And when I looked at the surface first up, Arun, I thought this is an ideal surface for a 3-day game, or even a 4-day game, because there was grass, it was hard, and as the day progressed, it would ease out into a good track. But in a 1-day game, if you wait for the day to progress and then for it to ease out, you could be 5 or 6 down, which is exactly what's happened with India. A maiden, 77 for 5.
Come on.
77 for 5, and a very familiar face there on the right. One of the greatest fielders this world has seen. Electric at that position of cover point. And the crowds love him in India. Still looks fit, Arun. Still can get on that field.
I'm sure. He really raised the bar on the fielding aspect. We were talking about grass, and I felt that there would be a lot more carry than there actually is on this wicket. I expected, because of the hardness of the top surface and the grass, the ball would carry a lot more, but the bounce has been a little indifferent, I must admit.
Model of concentration, Yuvraj Singh. He's played some gorgeous shots already in this innings. The more you see him bat, and there's a kind of toughness about him when he comes out to the middle now. He's already got 100 in this series. He's a player with lots of talent, natural talent, Yuvraj. It's worked away on the onside. These two quick between the wickets.
Well, the power plays and the field restrictions are over, but they've got India on the mat. They're really not opening up at all. Just the two fielders outside the 30 yards, and therefore you have this opportunity of, once you pass the infield, to getting a few runs on the board. But at the moment, they have a stranglehold on proceedings in South Africa. Now they've got an extra fielder back. It's square leg for Yuvraj.
He's a tall man, Yuvraj. He handles the bounce well, nice and upright in his stance. He's worked hard on his footwork.
Likes to hit hard through the line of the delivery. He's got a high backlift. Very strong young man, Yuvraj Singh. That's his ODI career of 136 matches. Best of 139, an average of 31.91. Will be an interesting strike rate there as well. In this series, an average of 123. He's got that 100 in very tense conditions. That's what they need to do now, to get singles, but the South Africans are denying them the singles. First 4 deliveries, the fielders are pretty close in. Now they've got 4 outside the 30 yards, protecting the boundary. 3 runs have come from this over. They know that all the play is now to be done by the Indians. They've got to decide when they can attack.
And it's gone away fine and into the boundary. Nice way to end the over for Yuvraj. 84 for 5. .84 for 5. Still to come, Dhoni, Agarkar. So there is batting, but this is the pair that India would want to stay for at least 15 overs.
A play and a miss. Again delivered from wide of the crease, and that away swing. This is spectacular bowling. Just look at the angle. You're bound to play at it because it's angled into you, and from there at the last instant, because it's bowled so wide of the crease, there's no hint of movement till it comes very close to you, and then it suddenly moves away. That was the delivery that got Rahul Dravid. He's doing it very well at the moment, Langefeld. Very tentative indeed at the moment, Mohammad Kaif. Both these young players in the Indian team have a lot of investment behind them. The Indian team has really invested a lot in them. They've realized the potential in both of them. They've played some match-winning innings together as well. They need another one today. They do realize that this is crunch time. 1-1. This is a big, big game, and 5 down. They need a partnership here. They've got to get to the 40th over, these two together.
Excellent timing. The placement good too. Kaif getting his first boundary.
That is very well done. What a fine shot indeed. Just a mere caress. It didn't go hard at it. Just the timing, as Ravi said. Perfection as well as the placement. But that's what can happen when you're trying to stop the singles. Once that ball goes through the 30 yards, it's gone for 4. Now they've got a fielder back there at deep cover.
Well, Arun, you know this pitch as well as anybody, having played so much of cricket here. Now, as the day progresses, do you see it changing, especially bounce-wise?
Well, Ravi, this is a well-prepared wicket as far as I was concerned. I did the pitch report, but what's sort of surprised me a wee bit has been the bounce. It's been a little on the lower side, and if that lasts, if that stays through, they could have a few problems in the evening with the ball keeping a little low.
Good, positive blow. No half measures whatsoever from Kaif on that occasion. It was in his half and he went after it.
Well, there was nothing tentative about that one. Really went after it. Didn't bother to keep it down, went over the top, connected handsomely. Beautiful shot, great follow through of the bat. Head was very still. Good connection between bat and ball. And I was saying that if the ball keeps low. In the evening, it'll skid a little off the surface as well, keeping a little lower.
.92 for 5.
Well, they need to play exceptionally well to get to that 254 from here. 92 for 5, 6 runs and over for the next 27 overs. That's easier said than done. 5 wickets down and a change now in the bowling. Shaq Khalis coming into the attack. They've got a lot of options today, the South Africans.
Yes, plenty of options, even without Antini. Shaq Khalis, loads of experience, 200 wickets. Doesn't bowl as much as he used to at the start of his career. Concentrated a lot more on his batting.
His role is pivotal in this South African scheme of things. Comes in at number 3 when he bats. Can bowl 5-6 overs nowadays and get a couple of wickets. One of the frontline all-rounders in world cricket today. That's what I mean about the bounce. The ball is keeping a little low, and in the evening, once the dew starts falling, it could skid off the surface and keep even lower. So the Indians need to get at about at least 240, 250 to really make a fight of this. And, you know, maybe even make the dew work for them. Ravi, who knows? But they do need 240 at least.
Yes, that'll be very competitive. Just a single. That is very good fielding from the big man Andre Nail, because that ball was travelling very quickly across the turf. This was superbly timed by Yuvraj. The commitment is there for everybody to see. It's a massive crowd here today. Well in excess of 85, 90,000.
Slip in position. Graham Smith realizes the value of wickets. He doesn't want the Indians to go the 50 overs. He needs to take wickets.
Once again, good effort in the deep.
Not where he intended it, that's for sure. Good bit of movement. In fact, he was trying to flick it onto the onside calf. Undone by that movement away from the bat. But good effort. That's the pressure that these South Africans exert on the opposition. It's their commitment. They save 15, 20 runs on the field. It really puts the pressure on. He's bowling a good length, Khalis. He's getting the batsman onto the front foot. He knows there's movement available. They've got a slip in position. He would probably want Kef to get onto the front foot and drive. Lovely seam position. All of them keeping it around that corridor just outside the off stump. Good step forward by Mohammad Kef and across towards the pitch of the delivery. He's got to be careful.
Three off the over. It's 95 for 5.
not being able to churn the strike over these two. They're left and right-handed. They run very well, but at the moment they're not finding the rhythm. They're not feeling as comfortable as they would want to be. Although Yuvraj has got 21 of 36 and Kef is quickly on to 16. He scratched his knee. This is a rather verdant outfield. That's Andre Nel. Big man falls heavy on those knees. Still the no. They're very quick round the bat. In fact, I've just been told that there are only 2 singles in this partnership so far of 24 of 36 deliveries. So they've only got 2 singles. But what that is doing is it's allowing the bowler to bowl an extended spell, or at least 4 or 5 deliveries at each batsman, and get his rhythm, get his line. He's not disturbed by having to change his line or length.
Plenty of security as well around the ground.
On the extreme left of your screens is Mr. Probir Mukherjee, the experienced curator, gentleman who's in charge of the ground here.
Very talented.
Well, they've got the elusive single. Still a lot of movement off the deck. This is the 25th over. It's not just the angle that is working against Yuvraj on that occasion, but it's also the movement away.
Kef wants 2, but will have to settle for the single. All these South Africans, very strong arms, especially from the deep. Andrew Hall was the man closing in on that occasion.
They're quick, these two, especially Kef. He's got to come back. He did it perfectly, changed the bat in his hand so that he had his eyes on the ball all the time. But it was Yuvraj who actually said no. It was better for it.
Another tidy over, just 2 of it, 97 for 5. .97 for 5. It's not a clear picture. Not quite getting hold of it. That one onto him a little quicker than he expected.
Well, the lights have come on here. And this is just 4:30 in the evening. Now, mind you, this is the east of India. So normally you would expect this time, this twilight zone time, when sighting the ball gets a little difficult comparatively, to be at the end of the innings. But it's just 25 overs gone. So the Indians would be batting in, I expect, what I would expect, complete darkness in about 15-20 minutes. Because by 5 o'clock it gets pretty dark here. And the dew starts falling earlier as well. You can already see the four shadows of each fielder on the ground.
South Africans keeping the pressure on these two, bowling as straight as they can. Both bowlers bowling to their fields. And Graham Smith still at that first slip position, and rightly so. He's got to keep thinking of picking up wickets. That was edged. Frustrating from Canis's point of view, but India go past 100.
These are important runs. Frustrating indeed, because it was the outside edge. He wanted to go hard at it, Yuvraj, trying to search for the area just wide of extra cover. But again, the angle and the movement. But result, no different than he wanted. He got a boundary.
And now Graham Smith going wider at slip. No ball signal. Must be frustrating when you're standing in the slips. You know that there's every chance of an outside edge, and then it goes past you. That's prompted Smith to go wider in that slip area. (103 for 5). (103 for 5). Good shot. Just a single for it. It was sweetly timed. It was Pollock moving across quickly.
Well played. The full face of the bat. But they're sliding and diving all over the place, these South Africans. That was Pollock. Got rid of it quickly. Not that the batsman was in any danger, but it feels good to hurry things along. Keep the batsman in the know that we are interested, and we're going to make you work very hard for your runs.
This partnership now worth 34. Very vital that these two stay for at least another 14-15 overs till the 40th over.
They've put on 34, these two. Looking good now. They're looking pretty stable. That is 4. A peculiar shot. Didn't release his elbows. Just a short arm kind of a cross court. But a very effective one indeed.
Forehand down the line with plenty of topspin.
Did transfer his weight onto the back foot. Played the right shot, but he was cramped for room. And really came onto him much quicker than he expected. But he got 4 for it. This partnership now seems to be flourishing because the singles have started coming. They're feeling a lot more comfortable about themselves, these two.
That's a good leave. Testing line for Yuvraj. And what's good to see with this Indian team in the last few one-day games is that they're not the types to give up quickly. We've seen in the past too the lower order contributing and allowing India to compete in contests. And that's always a good sign. Just a single there. 8 runs coming off that last over. It's 1-1-1 for 5. So you can see this partnership now worth 41 now with that single. Lights beginning to take effect here at Eden Gardens, and in the commentary box now Robin Jackman has been joined by Shiva Ramakrishnan.
Thanks very much, Ravi. Huge lights here. Goodness knows how many 100 bulbs there are in each bank. And the roar, just for a quick single, or in that case a quick 2, is phenomenal.
Good running by Momakev, not so much so by Yuvraj Singh. Getting on the pad, taking the pace off the ball, went for the non-striker's end. Yuvraj Singh was running behind the umpire. Jai Prakash wouldn't have had a clue.
Ravi Shastri was saying just how critical this partnership is. It's the only real one of the innings. And albeit that the job has been done so far by the home team, there's a lot more work to do still by these two. And then the likes of Dhoni downwards can unleash themselves in the last few overs of the innings. But those last few overs are a way away. Be a couple more here.
He's picked up quite a few runs in that area today, Yuvraj Singh. Previous occasion doing extremely well, waiting for the ball to come on to him. He's been going hard at deliveries, but here he's just waited and waited. Better control over the shot.
Smashed away over mid-wicket. Dismissive.
Change of angle. Coming around the stump was Jacques Harris. Yuvraj Singh also brings up the 50 partnership, just coming off 58 balls. But what a shot. Touch of arrogance, but he was totally on top of that. He's not trying to hit it down. Clears the man. Just a couple of bounces into the fence.
On 21 now for 5. On 21 for 5 then. This partnership of 50 from just 59 balls. And now Andre Nell back into the attack. He's bowled 6 overs so far, 0 for 19. He'd love a wicket, and South Africa would love him to get one round about now, just to break this ever-flourishing partnership up. Does have a habit of getting a wicket when he comes back into the attack. Graham Smith still keeping himself at slip, ever mindful of the fact there's something in this pitch.
It's what the Indians have to do. KF should be the man looking for the singles. Yuvraj Singh has played himself in. Yuvraj has already got 5 boundaries. And these two bat well together. Right from the under 19 days, Yuvraj and Mohammad KF. It's imperative for them to bat till the very end. The last ball of the previous over. Got the impression Yuvraj was expecting the short delivery. Got into a very good position so early. Just must be getting the feeling that he can dominate the bowling. He's been there for 76 minutes. Enough time to get used to the conditions, which have been bowler friendly.
The tactic for Yuvraj Singh is to go round the wicket, both Cullis and Nell, just to cramp him up a little bit, not allow him to be feel the freedom outside off stump. Little bit of work to do at fine leg, but it'll only be one. Now, when you look at the Manhattan of this innings, the problems were up front with so many wickets falling in the first 12 overs, then another one in the 19th. Since then, apart from the missing tooth in the 21st over, India have begun to swing this game around. .124 for 5, 29 overs gone. One, two, four, five. Johan Buerta, the off spinner, into the attack for the first time. He's playing in his 3rd match. Huge learning curve this tour has been for him. We had an opportunity during the rainy times at Chennai to talk to Mickey Arthur, and he was saying what a fantastic experience it's been for everyone who hadn't been here before, especially this young man. He's got a leg side field with 2 people saving 1, the mid-wicket and the short fine leg. Otherwise 3 out on the boundary. Long on, bottom right of your picture. Deep mid-wicket, deep backward square leg. Or bowled. It's the line.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of purchase he gets from this pitch. Fine, Yuan Botha, when he bowls the seam, more or less is in the direction of the batsman, not towards fine leg. Won't get a great deal of turn, but he'll get that extra bounce. And against the left-hander, 3 men inside the ring on the offside, saving a single. And just 1 on the leg side, that's just short fine leg. Options for Yuvraj Singh to play in front of the square with a straight bat, pick up the 1s and 2s on the leg side.
One more. KF suddenly saying to Yuvraj Singh, come on, push him. Yuvraj happy to jog the 1. Just watch Yuvraj. He sort of sets off fairly casually, just have the 1. KF suddenly says something to him. It's good from the right-hander. Bowled.
Has the makings of a good spinner. Was a fast bowler early on, Yuan Botha. He's got that natural loop. Ball dipping on the batsman.
I guess, Shivi, one of the things as a spinner you've got to do quite early on, wherever you go to play, is work out what's the right pace for the conditions that you should bowl at.
Certainly on Indian pitches, the slower you bowl, the more spin you impart, will be much better off.
Tidy over, 3 from it, 127 for 5. .27 for 5. The man of the series wins that Ford Fiesta. Whether it'll be that one or whether the winner will be able to choose his colour, I'm not quite sure. The policemen are optional extras. A lovely prize. I find that really, I have to say it every time it happens. To bowl a bouncer that's legal, it's got to bounce at exactly the right height. And that's way over his head, I know, but I find it a funny... a funny law to interpret. If the bouncer's below chin height, then it's not a bouncer. If it's above head height, it's a wide. Got to be pretty accurate.
But he's got great ability. Wasn't far too short, the bouncer.
Once again looking for 2, but it's not there.
The bouncer that we're talking about wasn't too short, just marginally short of length. He's a tall man, Andrenel. Totally by surprise. Was into the shot a little too early. He's enjoying himself out there. Talks with his eyes all the time. It's also important for him to bowl a good spell. Indians are having a good little partnership. Kiran Murray on the left of the picture, the chairman of the selection committee. So these two have put on 60 runs so far. They'll need to carry on the good work.
If India continue to score at this rate, they'll finish up with 212. 6 and over from here on in, closer to a competitive total, around about 250. .31 overs gone, 131 for 5. .131 for 5. Next man, Dhoni, waiting to come in. And when that flashed up on the big screen, that picture, there was a huge roar around this ground. So Eden Gardens expect.
The South Africans will be quite happy with the off-spinner bowling. Not to concede any boundaries. That's one of the problems when you don't have a short mid-wicket. Enough opportunity even in the air for Yuvraj Singh just to play it there and pick up easy runs.
It's a very difficult field, this, for Johan Botha to defend, especially, or defend the single, put it that way, especially bowling to the left-hander. On the onside, you can see the deep mid-wicket going back on the left. There's only one man saving one, and he's at short fine leg. No one in front of square. It's Prince at cover. So really his line has got to be off stump, where he's got 1, 2, 3 people saving one.
In varying his pace, this one at 85 k's, the last delivery was 96. So normally in the mid-80s, the speeds that we were talking about, Checkers, a little while earlier, it's good to mix it up. It's got to be around the mid-80s, so you don't provide the pace to the batsman.
.135 for 5. Drinks coming onto the toe. Gambia. Court Smith bowled Pollock 11. Patan out. Second ball of the match. Bowled Pollock for naught. Tendulkar caught Boucher, bowled Pollock 2. And Sehwag a blistering 30 from just 20 balls before he also edged one to Boucher off the bowling of Hall, who he'd annihilated in 2 overs. 2 overs for 19, but that vital wicket. And Dravid had his off stump uprooted by Langerfeldt. Since then, Yuvraj Singh and Mohammad Kaif have put on an excellent partnership. Here's some highlights from it.
64 so far. Yuvraj has made 40. Mohammad Kaif is batting on 33. He's back live. Played some very good shots. 8 boundaries between them. Yuvraj has got 5. Kaif got 3.
I'll be more cool now into the attack. Quite a steady little bowler, Albie Morkley. Not huge pace, but hits the bat reasonably hard. Hits the ball reasonably hard when he bats too.
And for the first time, we're not seeing a slip.
It's a beautiful stroke. My goodness me, what a good shot that is. There's a man back there, no chance of catching it.
Could certainly be the shot of the first session. Nothing wrong with the delivery. Close to the batsman, just marginally short of a length. But he's such good nick. And he's in good form. Can't get better for Yuvraj Singh.
There's 4 more. Half volley. Still got to hit it for 4 though.
Lots of runs coming for Yuvraj Singh on the offside. He's been severe. I think it was the attempted Yorker. Taken on the full. And beautiful placement. Opening the face of the bat at the right moment to get the gap.
So 48 not out for Yuvraj Singh.
He's waited for the loose deliveries and he's made them count. That's been the hallmark of his innings. Yuvraj Singh took his time to get in, but now looking very good indeed.
Not a good start for Morkel. 8 from the over already. And he keeps it that way. 143 for 5, 33 gone.
Top this down. I'll drop it out. Anyone in quick side?
One, 4, 3 for 5. Yuvraj Singh very, very strong through the extra cover area there. Just backward a point as well. Played quite beautifully.
But Mohammad Kaif has played a major part in this partnership. He's eased things around for Yuvraj. He's on 33. He's come in good time. 33 coming in, just 44 balls at a time, and India were looking down the barrel. 71 for 5 at that stage.
Two dot balls to start the over.
It was always a much better length to bowl fuller. Can always set a feel for the drive. Useful strike rate on this pitch from Mohammad Kaif.
That's the area that he just can't defend. It's all very well to say that. Where do you take the extra man from? It's got to come from the offside. Needs that defence in the deep mid-wicket area. As Yuvraj Singh is so strong there. So Yuvraj now on 49.
Big crowd in today. We'll be expecting he reaches there.
We'll have to wait. 146 for 5. .146 for 5, then 34 overs gone. And that'll bring Yuvraj Singh back on strike. He needs just one for his 50. And to describe it to you, Ravi Shastri's with Mike Hazeman.
Thanks, Robin. Now, this would have been the little area that Graham Smith at the start of play would have been concerned about. Albie Morkel thrust into the lineup. Makayantini's illness, the first time that Albie's played for some time. Last time he played was the New Zealand series, which I guess wasn't that long ago. However, when you're not involved in the first few games, it seems like ages. Wanting that one to go to 50. Geez, played well, Ravi.
He's an outstanding talent. Let's face that. I think where he's matured is with his shot selection, and it's a good habit he's getting into. That's when the chips are down, he's able to get the runs, be focused. Got an excellent 100 in Hyderabad, and it's been a top innings so far.
There's one for the 50. He'll come back for the second as well. Bit of indifferent running, but no real drama. That's his 20th 50 in one-day international cricket. He will know. He's such a good player. He did it in the first game. He will know that he's far from finished.
It's a good feeling, let me tell you that. To reach a landmark of sorts in front of 80,000 people.
Driving beautifully on the up. Keeping Shah Langerfeldt busy. 2 more runs. Good running from Kaif. Aggressive stuff from him.
Yes, nice way to bring up the 150. This has been a very good partnership. They've complemented each other well, this right-hand, left-hand batting combination. And just coming back to Yuvraj, I think right from the outset, his footwork has looked most assured and positive. Either forward or back, not afraid to play shots. This last 50, the quickest.
You can bet there's been very little calling between these two. There is no way that when they're running between the wickets, trying to come back for the second, that they'll be able to hear a word with this din at this ground.
Well, I said 80,000, but I think when I look around the ground now, you could be rest assured there's about 9,500.
End of the over from Albi Morkel, his second. It went for 5, 151 for 5. $151 for 5. 15 overs remaining now. They'll be thinking about 6-0 from here, I'm sure. These two, the stand is now worth 81. It's been very impressive. If they go at 6, they're not far shy of the 250 mark, which will be an extremely good recovery after losing wickets inside 10 overs. Average score, by the way, in the last 5 one-days played at Eden Gardens. Batting first is 263. Where would that place them, Rav, if they get just around the 250 mark?
I think it'll be a very competitive score when you have this huge crowd behind you then.
Big shout for LBW, and up goes the finger as well. Johan Botha, that is a very, very good delivery. A little bit of depth from Johan Botha, those top spinners that he bowls, and some extra bounce as well, but umpire Jay Prakash says it's good enough for him.
Well, just relaxing a little bit after getting that half century. That ball's gone right through actually and crashed into middle stump. In fact, it looked as if it's crashed into middle stump, but hit right in front of middle stump, and no problems whatsoever. Just relaxing a bit, Yuvraj Singh, on reaching that landmark, not quite getting to the pitch of the ball, but a very, very good hand. And South Africa striking at just the right time. When this partnership was looking to get dangerous, Yuvraj Singh departs, and that brings Dhoni out to the centre. 152 for 6.
He has time to make a serious impact in this innings, Mahendra Dhoni. Strike rate of 107. Off the mark quickly.
Well, this is the last man to be dismissed. Yes, hitting the pad. Big wicket this. Very important time too. Now that's brought Dhoni to the crease in a huge roar from the crowd. Now there's only one way he'll play. One thing he's shown is he's a street smart cricketer. This is Yuvraj again.
Yeah, it's the perfect time for him to go. It's chopped a good partnership. A partnership that really was looking to develop and threaten South Africa. And I think it's a very good call by umpire Jay Prakash. Outstanding bowling from Botha. He's got that past Jacques Kallis in the covers. Big Andre Nel will tidy up just short of the rope. And that's the end of the 36 4 off it, but the important wicket as well of Yuvraj Singh for Botha. 155 for 6. 36 overs gone, 14 to go. Not too much batting left in the hut for India. Wanted to go Harbhajan Singh, they could nudge it. Harpreet Singh and Murali Kartik, of course, is the super sub who we brought in the game, I'm sure, in the second half. But it's Pollock back into the attack now. Just the perfect time for Sean Pollock to come back. Picking up the wicket of Yuvraj Singh, breaking that partnership. Morkel just bowled 2 overs, none for 13. And Sean has got 1 over and 5 balls remaining now.
Good move. He's got to go for wickets now that he's broken the partnership, Graham Smith. He would know that in situations like this, 1 wicket could lead to another quite immediately. And for Dhoni on the attack with a slip in place as well.
And there won't be any half volleys around the place to Dhoni. That's their theory. Nothing horribly pitched up.
I wonder why. Who would have seen that series against Sri Lanka? He's a strong man, generates tremendous bat speed through the hitting area. 17 sixes in that series against the Sri Lankans. So the South Africans will want to push him back. He had a real ball in that series.
There's a slip in place. Smith himself. Again, short of the length, forcing him back. He's down a third man. I guess it's quite simple. Dhoni's going to play his natural game to a certain extent, not as flamboyant as we've seen in the Sri Lankan series. But Mohammad Kaif is the man who needs to occupy the crease here. He needs to bat basically to 50 overs. I'm a little bit concerned, Ravi. He's been stretching a hamstring as well over the last 5 minutes or so. Let's hope that doesn't complicate matters. Nicely timed.
Well, interesting you say that, because he was out of the team for a bit for precisely that reason. He had a problem with his hamstring.
Swapping around with a field now from Smith. Back to that slips cordon. No one saving 1 apart from mid-on the leg side. Just 3 on the leg side. He's got that away nicely. Just the 1 though.
Yes, he's on the move already, Dhoni.
He's a remarkable performer, Sean Pollock. About to complete his 9th over now. 3 for 24, his return at this stage. If it's a dot ball, that's where it'll finish. Scampers 1, so the hamstring seems to be okay for Mohammad Kaif. And 4 off the over. 159 for 6. Bit of flight this time from Botha, and a very good shot from Kaif. All along the carpet for 4.
Nice half volley right up in the slot, but you've still got to put it away. The placement spot on here. Nice transfer of weight into the shot. He's on 44 now.
It's transferred a bit of pressure too on the youngster, Johan Botha. It's generally the pace that he does bowl. And about the 87, he has bowled 1 or 2 deliveries, about 95 k's per hour. If he does err, tends to drop a little bit short from time to time, Botha. Rarely is he over pitch, so he has the first ball this over. Mark Boucher encouraging Johan Botha.
They're saying get it up. Make the batsman play off the front foot.
It's been a bit quieter than normal. Feeling off colour. Normally he's been very vocal in these games. In fact, all the games he's played. Amazing to think that some 12 months ago he wasn't in the lineup, Mark Boucher.
What's impressed one and all about Dhoni is that he's a quick learner. We saw him get that huge score against the Sri Lankans, and then in the very next game changed tactics when the situation demanded something different. So he can play both ways. He's got a reasonably good defense. The important thing is he's a thinking cricketer. He adapts well to different conditions.
That's a good over for India without doing anything too extravagant. The boundary off the first ball helped. 7 coming from it, 166 for 6. Four wickets inside 12 overs. That was without problems. 4 for 49 it was inside a dozen, which really put India on the back foot. There's been a pretty good recovery up until this stage. Not too much batting left, so lots of responsibility on the likes of Mohammad Kaif, who's now on 46. Pretty good illustration of how South Africa have pegged India and picked up wickets at exactly the right times. And I think also, Ravi, that partnership, 80-odd partnership, was building beautifully until the last wicket fell, that of Yuvraj.
Yes, just relaxing a bit, but Indians showing good fighting qualities, because South Africa were all over India around the 20-over mark. One stage it looked as if India might be rolled out for under 150.
He's a long way out of his crease at the moment, Mohammad Kaif. That's off the pad, so that'll be all right. Sean Pollock has been plagued by a couple of wides today. 13 extras so far from South Africa. He can be a little bit predictable, Sean Pollock, with his length. Now, that's not a bad thing because he is one of the best around. But that is why Mohammad Kaif is batting out of his crease at the moment. In a pigeon-toed fashion. What was your call on Afan Pathan opening the batting, Ravi?
Well, interesting, wasn't it, Mike? My initial reaction was probably India wanted to just keep Tendulkar or Sehwag back because of the conditions and probably use them later. Send out two left-handers to see if they could upset the line of the South African bowlers. Didn't work.
And you also mentioned how if India were to get to that 250 mark, it'll be competitive with this crowd. How many runs would you say 100,000 people is worth for India?
I think 30, 40 runs easily, because I've seen games here being played where sometimes even when you get 230, 240 and a couple of wickets go, the noise is unbearable and the pressure starts showing on the opposition.
That is brilliant from Sean Pollock. He's bowled his 10th over. It's a maiden. His figures are absolutely outstanding, and it's appreciated by his captain and teammates. 166 for 6. He was looking forward to making a difference tonight, Sean Pollock, and he's certainly done that. 10 overs, 4 maidens, 3 for 25. First time he's played at Eden Gardens in a day-night game. He knew it was going to be special, and he wanted to do something special. He's done that. Andre Nel back into the attack now, also with very tidy figures.
Yes, you can see Graham Smith realizes the importance of getting a wicket quickly, because that could make a difference at this stage. If South Africa can pick up a wicket, it could make a difference of about 20 runs, 25 runs to the eventual score. What they don't want is Dhoni to get going.
Gone. Smith has taken the catch at mid-wicket. Short ball from Andre Nel. He's one of those guys, when he comes back into the attack, he often strikes. Mohammed Kaif, a bit of a shake of the head. He can't believe he picked up Smith, but again, South Africa have chopped into at the right time.
Well, there you go. He was brought into the attack to take a wicket, and he's done exactly that. Unfortunately for Kaif, he didn't quite get the elevation he was looking for. Still a good catch by the captain. And a double blow for India here. First Yuvraj, now Kaif goes 167 for 7.
Ajudagaka is the next man in. 7 down now, India. 2 balls into the 40th over. It's nicely struck down to third man. Work to be done by Langerfeldt, who I'm sure is going to be one of the finishers for South Africa today. But, there will be concerns in the Indian change room. 7 wickets down. And Kaif, the man who we thought should go through and bat 50, departed.
Yes, he timed it quite well. Unfortunately for him, not being able to clear mid-wicket. That's just what South Africa wanted at that stage. Nel brought back, getting the wicket. What will be interesting to see now is Dhoni's tactics. He knows there's every chance of him running out of partners. Will he hang in for a bit or just take the aggressive route?
Going a bit leg side. Also, he's got some bounce now and disappointment. He's got 1. He's on the board. He'll be pleased with that. He's 100% up.
Yes, you always feel something's going to happen when Andre Nel is out there. Full of energy, plenty of enthusiasm.
Got 1 ball left in his 9th over now, Nel. 1 for 29, his return at this stage. That's gone fairly fine and running away for 4. A little too short and a little bit of width as well. It's got the treatment. Nel will not be pleased with that last delivery. 7 from it, 173 for 7. 10 overs remaining. Loud screams of no, about 5 of them from Ajitagaka at the non-striker's end. Sean Pollock has obviously finished his 10 overs now, so Langerfeldt, who's got 3 overs and 5 balls up his sleeve, back into the attack. Andrew Hall's got 5 to go. He'll be the other one who'll be expected to finish. Johan Botha, interestingly enough, has got 5 as well. He's only gone for 4 per over at this stage and has picked up a wicket, so that'll be an option perhaps. And Nell, of course, has just got the 1 to go also. Now let's talk about the dew a bit, Ravi. How is that going to affect the spinners, the likes of Vrinder Sehwag, Harbhajan and Murali Kartik when he's super subbed?
It will affect them in a big way, there's no doubt about it. But what will be interesting to see is the bounce, how the ball bounces once there is a bit of dew, whether it stays on the lower side or it just skids through nicely onto the bat.
Thrash that one. There is a sweeper though.
Because if it does start staying low, then India will be hoping to get about 240 here, 230, 240 from here, and at least give themselves an outside chance of putting pressure on South Africa, especially if they take some early wickets, which is not beyond India in these conditions.
I know the South Africans were amazed at how the ball just skidded on nicely to the bat in the second half of the game in Bangalore when it got wet. So you're saying there's a chance this might do the same, but also keep it a little bit lower?
It will do the same, but I'll be very interested to see the bounce. So if the bounce stays the same as we saw in Bangalore, then it's going to be hard work for the Indians. They would want the ball to keep a little low.
Just before 5:30 local time in the afternoon, and the lights are shining very brightly. Dark skies.
Yes, Kolkata in the eastern part of India, so the sun does set here very quickly. Even when you have test matches in the east, the play starts at around 9:30 as opposed to 10 in the other parts. When you have day matches here, as early as 8:45 at times.
One off the over so far. 1 ball remaining from Langerfeldt. And that's where it stays. That's terrific stuff from Shah Langerfeldt. He completes 7, 41 gone, 174 for 7. Trouble at the start for India after they're invited to bat. Slight misfield and they scamp through for 1. Kemp not happy with that. And Joe Knowles started his 10th over now. I think another fascinating thing to watch in this game in the second half, Rathi, is going to be Graham Smith versus Pathan. Are we going to see Smith waltzing around the crease like we've seen so far?
Well, it depends on how much India get here. He's the key man from South Africa's point of view. Because I think it's the start he gives at the top of the order that allows the middle order to play the way they do. If India gets Smith early, they always believe that there is a chance.
Yes, and he's taken it upon himself basically to upset Pathan. He certainly got the better of Pathan in the first game, although there was a very good shout for LBW, which is exactly the way he was dismissed in Bangalore. Waltzing down the track and walking across. It's good work from Kemp. Not too much of a gap to get between the men back of the square on the offside. The other thing, Ravi, which South Africa will be a little bit concerned about is the dropping of A.B. de Villiers has certainly weakened the out-and-out batting department. There's Smith, there's Ashwell Prince, who's not well, we know that, and Callis. They're the only out-and-out batsmen, although Callis, of course, is a very handy all-rounder, but he'll be considering himself tonight as a prime number 3 batsman. The rest are all-rounders, hard-hitting all-rounders. Don't be at all surprised if the super sub, when he's introduced, Robin Peterson, if he comes and bats at the top of the order. He's perhaps a more ideal super sub than a Justin Ongtong. Someone who's a left-handed batsman and left-arm orthodox bowler, which we're not going to see. And someone who loves giving the ball a bit of a nudge, like this man. South Africa will be still concerned that he might take complete control here in these last 7 or 8 overs.
Talking about Robin Peterson, Mike, how come South Africa kept one Peterson and allowed the other Peterson to go to England?
That is a very, very good question. It was a bloke by the name of Clive Rice that you would have played against occasionally, Ravi, who spotted the talent and got him over to county cricket. Obviously the only one who did spot the talent. Good aggressive stuff from Andre Nell. Just 2 runs off that over as well. That completes his 10 overs. He's gone for just 35 and picked up a wicket. 176 for 7. Eight overs remaining, 176 for 7. Langerfeldt continues. A little bit leg side protection out there. Just the one though. Ravi and myself will take a breather to take you through to the end of the innings. It's going to be Arun Lal and Robin Jackman.
Thanks, Mike. Well, we can expect a little bit of fireworks. Perhaps not just yet because of the number of wickets that have fallen. Certainly the last 5, I would expect some fun.
Yes, indeed, Robin. It's the problem, the wickets column, that 7 wickets that have fallen. But they really have left themselves no option. It is into the last 8 overs. Maybe another couple of overs where they'll just try and churn the singles over, but then they've really got to take a few risks if they've got to get competitive. They've got to try and hit that 230.
Yeah, gambles have to be taken. It's just the timing of them. There have been too many wides from the South Africans today. Far too many. It's the 8th of the innings. Pollock guilty early on, which is very surprising.
Yes, normally they're very disciplined, the South Africans. They pride themselves on doing the basics well. That's what puts pressure on the opposition. I think Ajit Agarkar would really want to give as much strike as possible to Dhoni. But 8 runs from here on will get them to 239. They would probably be targeting about 225, 230. That's provided they keep their wickets intact.
What's going to interest me is when South Africans bowl in the last 4 or 5 overs and their tail enders. Last time they did that, they pitched it up, tried to get it in the block hole, which is the norm. Didn't get it quite right, and the likes of Harbhajan Singh just kept smashing it. We might see a few more back of a length deliveries today if they've learned a lesson, or some more accurate Yorkers. part of the problem was they didn't manage to achieve to bowl an actual Yorker.
That's the problem with bowling Yorkers. If you don't get them right, you can be pushed away for runs. But you're absolutely right. If you're bowling to the tail enders, you don't really have to take such risks as bowling Yorkers every delivery.
It's a good shot from Agaka, but it'll only be one.
They've been very special in the field today, South Africa. They knew they were in a tight 1-1 with 2 to play. They've done some fabulous work in the field. The good field placement as well by Graham Smith. Didn't lose control ever once he had those early breakthroughs. Even now, hasn't given boundaries away at all.
Oh, is it? It is compatriot at the other end. They still managed to get the single. 183 for 7. You rejoin us, 183 for 7, and the umpires have been asked to change the ball.
Well, that's the new ball, but it doesn't look very much whiter than the one they've changed. It's still very green and muddy. I was told that they sort of clean these balls, that they change with a very light sandpaper. They brush the surface and the surface mud which is sticking onto the ball. They get it white again.
Andrew Hall. He's got a daunting proposition in front of him. He's bowled 5 overs for 34. I mentioned earlier he got knocked for 19 by Sehwag in 2. Before getting him out within that 2. And now he's on when the slog's on. So one of two things will happen. Either his figures will rush out a bit more, he might pick up a couple of wickets. Or both.
Dhoni at the moment is more content on staying on the back foot. He's waiting for the balls which are slightly short of length. A little late on coming onto that front foot. He is tentative. Little indecision. The front foot not really reaching the pitch or the line of the delivery.
It's one area where he's looking to hit a boundary because mid-wicket's orthodox, mid-on is fairly orthodox. That's well bowled. That's 3 dot balls. And it's not as if Dhoni's defending. He's looking to score.
But really he's rooted to the crease. Just not coming onto the front foot as I've seen him do in his earlier innings, Dhoni. Even that last shot that he played was really off the back foot.
It's well bowled. Neat bit of fielding too.
Just bowling the perfect length at the moment. Very straight and keeping it just that slightly short and pushing Dhoni onto the back foot without giving him much time to play a forcing shot. Fairly orthodox field set for this time of the innings. fine leg coming up, and the long on going back after 4 dot balls.
Now the bowler's just got to bowl it in the right place. And that's exactly where it is. It's very well bowled. Excellent over. Outstanding over. What a good over at this stage of the match. 44 gone, 1 from that, 184 for 7. There you go, a couple of biggish buildings in the middle of the town. That was when there was a very good partnership. Mohammad Kaif and Yuvraj Singh rescued this Indian innings from all sorts of trouble. Not that they're clear of trouble just yet. Shah Cullis into the attack now. A couple of South Africans have finished already, Pollock being one. Excellent performance from him. 10 overs, 3 for 25. Nell the other who's finished. Smashed away, that'll be 4. Wrong, Jackman, just 2. Good work on the boundary.
Well, suddenly he's got the length that he wants, Dhoni. As Albie Mokel getting a game. That has been hit pretty hard. Just a little bit of room and the right length, but good fielding there at the boundary.
Mokel again. The secret of the slide fielding is having had to slide, how quickly you get on your feet and release the ball, and there's a really good example of it. Excellent. Every dot ball is gold dust. Quite a few, well, you can say surprises, but a few eyebrows have been raised with the test squad that's been selected. Zahir Khan not part of it. 1 or 2 people would like to see him part of it. Out, bowled by Cullis. And yet another Indian wicket falls, which is going to make it harder for them in these last few overs.
Just played right across the delivery. It's a straight delivery, just the right approach by Cullis to keep it as straight as possible. Rather than going over straight, he was trying to play it to square leg and played right across it. Bit of an inside edge, and he was cleaned up. So Cullis has a wicket. India sink deeper into trouble, 187 for 8.
Ball short.
The Turbinator, Harbhajan Singh. He did some damage in Hyderabad. 37 in 17 balls. Can he do it again?
Just doing it perfectly, Jacques Kallis, just trying to keep it as straight as possible. And Ajit Agarkar obliging by playing right across the line of that one. He was targeting the mid-wicket fence. He would have been better off going over mid-on rather than over mid-wicket.
End of another good over. Just 3 runs from it and a wicket. 187 for 8. .187 for 8. Another dot ball from Hall.
Somehow that touch is eluding Dhoni. 14 of 25, just not quite getting it in the meat of the bat. Still got 5 overs, he can make amends. All Indian supporters would dearly wish that he does strike some form here.
He's hit that, but straight to the man who's caught it. Put it on the boundary. So South Africa getting wickets just when they want to. India not having, if you like, the luck that you need in the last 5 or 6 overs, where the ball goes either side of fielders. Went straight to him, but a good catch.
Well, the intention was to go right over him. Wasn't really from the meat of the bat once again. Was struggling in this innings, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, from the standards that he set for himself. But he's gone for 14 of 26. Now India 187 for 9.
Harpy Singh, 187 for 9. Next man in is the roller. Stripped away. I can't believe that Dhoni got caught at long on and didn't cross with Harbhajan Singh.
I think he was just too disappointed, hitting it flat and straight into the hands of that long on fielder. Didn't even make an attempt. Straight down his throat.
But it's naughty though. You expose number 11 instead of a slightly better player. Seen matches won and lost like that in the past. Hits it pretty cleanly, but he knows that he hasn't got quite enough on it. As you say, it's all disappointment, but there are disciplines that you still have to carry out. That might be out. That just might be out. It is. Andrew Hall gets it full and straight. Harbhajan is not going to hurt South Africa with the bat anyway this evening. And South Africa have bowled India out, having put them in when they won the toss, for under 200, 188, with 4 overs and a ball to spare. It's been a pretty clinical performance.
That it has been. Just the perfect delivery, just slanting in. Harbhajan going too far across with that front foot and having to play all around it. Didn't quite manage it, and no hesitation in the minds of the umpire. So the Indians never got going ever, except for that brief period in the middle when Yuvraj and Kev put on 81 together. They needed the tail to fire, which it didn't, and were reduced to 188 all out in 45.5 overs. They would be disappointed with this. So South Africa have played this match so far almost perfectly. Won the toss, fielded, and have kept a stranglehold